Hold up. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Double M Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
We are talking about the main event at UFC 326 for the BMF title. It's Max Blessed Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Let's talk about it.
So, as my man here said, we have this upcoming Saturday. We have a big fight on our hands. Max Holloway versus Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. Now, listen, both of these guys are guys with big fan bases, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think whether either guy wins, I don't think anyone's really going to be disappointed. This is going to be a fight that's going to be a fight to remember, because these are dudes that come out firing on all cylinders. Now, let's break down the reality of the circumstances. If Charles chooses to exchange with Max, I think Max is going to take it. I'm going to just be right up front about it. I think given the amount of firepower, the striking level, ability, and such, and power that Max Holloway brings to the table, I do believe that Max Holloway would take it. Now, here's the thing. Charles Oliveira is decent. He's pretty good striker himself. I don't want to bring him down the striking level that he has and brings to the game. But the reality of the circumstances is that is it as good as Max Holloway's? I don't believe so. Now, luckily for Charles Oliveira, he has the most submission wins in UFC history as it currently stands. With that being said, why would this man not bring Max Holloway to the ground, which he is vastly better than Max Holloway, and at that point try to wrestle and or submit him in some way, shape, or fashion? That's going to be his key to victory, if we're being 100% honest here, guys. The way that Charles Oliveira is going to win this is not by trying to exchange with Max Holloway, but by bringing him into the depths of the deep sea and then drowning him in those waters. And the reality of circumstances is, if Charles Oliveira does this, I think it's going to be an easy night for him. Don't get me wrong, Max Holloway on every single level is a very experienced, very wily, detailed when it comes to being able to defend and stay off his back. That's been basically his entirety of his career. But I do believe Charles has enough skill, enough depthness to his game as far as takedowns, as far as submissions, that he could make it a difficult night for Max Holloway. So the reality of the circumstances is, key to victory for Charles Oliveira, get him to the ground, submission win. Keys to victory for Max Holloway, stay on your feet and striking, and if he does that, Max Holloway will take it. Now, given this is fight week, we're going to give you our prediction. Personally, for myself, I'm going to pick Charles Oliveira, and I know I'm going to get some heat for this because I do believe Max Holloway's fans are a little bit more hardcore than Charles Oliveira's fans. But the thing that I always go to and go back and watch any video where we give you a final breakdown, thing that I always point to is who has more tools that they can reach for when getting the job done. And in this particular case, Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is a decent striker, my friends. He really, really is. It's not that he's completely out of the game. I just believe that Max Holloway is better than him at that. Enough to definitely win the match. But Charles Oliveira always has that thing on his back that he could fall back on, and that's that wrestling, that submission game, and I believe that's going to be the way that he's going to win this. And hopefully he doesn't try to exchange like he did with Ilya, because that is one of Charles Oliveira's downfalls, is that if he tries to strike with them, much like he did with Ilya Topuria, he's going to lose. He's going to lose. And I do believe, unfortunately, Charles is bullheaded enough and would want to put on a show enough for his fans that he would definitely try to exchange with Max Holloway, especially if it comes to that end, that final round, if they make it all the way to the final round and Max Holloway does that, then it's game over for Charles Oliveira. But I'm hoping he'll be smarter. I'm hoping he won't take the bait. I'm hoping that he will take him down, wrestle him, and submission game for the win, because that's what I believe his keys to victory are. What do you think about that, my man?
You're definitely not wrong about this. I do think the story of this matchup going into it, I do think it is the ace in one particular area, their one expertise, going up against a jack of all trades. The jack of all trades in this scenario is going to be Charles Oliveira, which his striking is good, not phenomenal, nowhere near as phenomenal as Max Holloway's. But again, he does have the ground game, the submission game, the grapple game that does eclipse over a Max Holloway. Max Holloway is going to be the ace in this scenario, where he's absolutely phenomenal in the striking, where the skill of it just eclipses that of Do Bronx in this scenario. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I do think if Charles Oliveira does want to be smart about this. I do agree with your assessment that if he wants to be coming out of this as BMF champion, he's going to have to use every single tool under his tool belt to try and gain victory. The problem that I have with that is that I think based on the last match that he had with Ilya Taporia and the fact that Max Holloway has an uncanny ability to want people to play his game, which is why he always points out to the middle of the ring, that I think he forces people to play into his game. I think that might eat at Charles Oliveira in the long game. I think Max Holloway has an uncanny ability to bring people to bring into his game that it's going to play into Max Holloway's game. Again, do I think Charles Oliveira can win it? I absolutely do think so. But I do think Max Holloway is going to bait him enough to want to play in his game where it actually might fall up against Charles Oliveira to do most of the heavy work, and Max Holloway is going to eke out the victory. So again, if you were to ask me who do I bet or who do I think is going to win the BMF champion, I'm going to absolutely bet on Blessed in this matchup. But what do you think about my thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, if Max Holloway can bait him into, going toe-to-toe, and then you're right, Max Holloway is going to take it. I'm hoping and I believe Charles Oliveira is smart enough to know that that's not the way he's going to win. Especially, look, if you want to win, if you want to get that bonus money, if you want to get that BMF belt, bro, you do whatever you can. Do it your way. Don't do it their way. Don't ever play your opponent's game. Play your game. So I do agree with you that Max Holloway is really good at baiting people. I'm just hoping Charles Oliveira doesn't fall for it. Either way, it's going to be a phenomenal match. It's going to be very entertaining. Please tell us what you guys think is going to win. Tell us how you guys think they're going to win, what round, all that good stuff, and we'll see who gets it best. Either way, we'll be watching. Make sure that you guys watch the fight as well. It's going to be very entertaining. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.